Actually having been brought on to take part in it. Now Kostulas. There is the keeper. Lieber getting a foot in, but Waneri there to pick up the pieces. And slipping it through for Mikel Merino.
Wide there, he's looking wide, but he wants to play the more difficult one in between the lights. And it's fired high and wide, but the ball into him.
The Gyökeres to start Merino up front, where he filled in admirably, of course, for much of last season. But instead, Harriman Anous, the 17-year-old, is afforded his chance. And the corresponding fixtures last season, hinting at the progress made, albeit in the still early weeks of the season. Because this is another one. Brighton took points from Arsenal home and away in 1-1 draw at Manchester United at the weekend, and that came as a real disappointment to them because they'd won their previous 3 trips to Old Trafford, haven't they? They advance again here with Simas. Simas was actually signed in January for £20 million from Nuremberg, and here he is on the ball as it breaks somewhat fortuitously for him. He has support from Rutter to take it on.
Caulfield, good break. I think Rutter should be going across the keeper more there. It's just, I think that touch is too far in front of him.
The goalkeeper does get a glove on it, nearly came for Eze, type of territory from which he scored at the weekend. He wasn't able to capitalise this time though. Instead, Rutter leads the charge and slips it through for Simas. Another big chance for Brighton, and that one goes wide.
The pass that he had before, and this time Simas is wide with it. Rutter breaks out, he holds on to it really well there, plays the pass precisely, but then look, the first touch all the time. First touch is the most important. He's made those chances, but unfortunately for them, they've missed them.
There's been a frustration maybe of the last season or so under Fabian Hürzeler. They haven't quite capitalised on some of their approach. And as we got that foot in, here is Harriman Anous for Arsenal. Does have support from Abera Eze. And still with Eze. Eze helping it on for Mikel Merino. There was a little hesitant. His passport, he wouldn't consider playing him yet. When you look at him in training every day, he thinks he should play every game. He has to find that balance.
Lives up the road from me as well, Phil. Lovely for
to secure his long-term future when he's old enough to do that. It's all the way through for the keeper here. There's the effort.
It fizzes across it, but the keeper again, Arrizabalaga has got it covered. He's had a good start to the
competition as well, a tournament top scorer. Nobody else actually has managed more than 2 coming into to round 4 this week. To put his exploits into context, the former Inter Miami player who joined in January, getting tight to him this time. He wasn't the only one. Slotted straight into the side at Premier League level. One of those that keeps his place today. He's under pressure again here though, just caught Merino.
Let it up with a little bit of a foul where maybe you're going for the ball but can follow through at the same time.
Selection of his side for this game. Young players deserving of an opportunity, he says. That's why they're here. He knows he couldn't throw them all in at once, certainly in a game like this.
That's very encouraging to see.
There's Van Hecker on the ball for Brighton. The senior members of their side now. And they've lost out here. This is Dauman to take it down, and it is Van Hecker in the way to stop him. And that Arsenal have added to their armoury. And it goes directly where it was flicked goalwards by Hincapié. The policy is a predictable one.
Yeah, everybody's got a long throw now. What they haven't taken in consideration is the balls are a lot lighter now, so they're easier to get in. From Brighton as well.
So their players comfortable, don't they, in various different positions as they drive forward from Baliba, slipping it through where Kostulas was his
from Arsenal, so you don't really see players running and driving, getting beyond.
Goals conceded in 13 games in all competitions coming into this one tonight for Arsenal. Given all of their successes down the years, it is somewhat remarkable really that they've only won this competition twice and not since 1993. Under pressure here, Kadioglu improvising after Rutter. Well, Mikel Arteta's only trophy in charge was that FA Cup of... Yeah.
Well, some managers grumbling about the lack of finance and signings that they made. I don't think he can have any grumbles with the way he's been backed. Very strong squad.
This competition offering the first chance of a trophy, of course, this season. They'll beat in the semi-finals. Tariq George has doubled Chelsea's lead at Molineux, quarter of an hour in. With the all Premier League affairs tonight.
Nothing much going right for Wolves at the moment.
He's kept in play and it will break favourably for Harriman Anus. Does have options. Brighton battling to get back in position behind the ball. Dowman taking over, finding Ben White. White's delivery by his team this season. Could be another where it's needed. Plenty of strength in depth on the bench if he does have to change it later. Here is Dowman. Now Norgard. White is well advanced again, swings in the cross. Might get an max this season, Ben White, on his recovery from the knee injury that restricted his role last season. This is why he maybe hasn't played as much yet as he would have liked. Lewis Skelly dispossessed here by Ruter, who was impressive up against him and holds on to it. Boscali. Sinas going down on halfway, right in front of the referee, gives it against Christian Mosquera.
You've kind of been slung together.
So Ruter to have another go.
Low down for Arisa Balaga, but he's been up to everything so far. Good hands again. The game fizzing across that lovely surface.
Kept in by Eza. Looking on Kadioglu and threatening to go beyond him. Forcing the corner.
Being booed by the Brighton fans there, Eza, because of the
juice from the corner. What a movement in the middle. As there usually is, of course, but it didn't get that far this time. It's away by Ruter.
Their established team, the Arsenal. Just those little gaps appearing.
Ruter is proving a real nuisance, particularly for Lewis Skelly. Has support from Kadioglu here. Capio rising again. Mosquera was behind him. Once more it was max this season, Ben White, on his recovery from the knee injury that restricted his role last season. This is why he maybe hasn't played as much yet as he would have liked. Lewis Skelly dispossessed here by Ruter, who was impressive up against him and holds on to it. Boscali. Sinas going down on halfway, right in front of the referee, gives it against Christian Mosquera.
You've kind of been slung together.
So Ruter to have another go.
Low down for Arisa Balaga, but he's been up to everything so far. Good hands again. The game fizzing across that lovely surface.
Kept in by Eza. Looking on Kadioglu and threatening to go beyond him. Forcing the corner.
Being booed by the Brighton fans there, Eza, because of the
juice from the corner. What a movement in the middle. As there usually is, of course, but it didn't get that far this time. It's away by Ruter.
Their established team, the Arsenal. Just those little gaps appearing.
Ruter is proving a real nuisance, particularly for Lewis Skelly. Has support from Kadioglu here. Capio rising again. Mosquera was behind him. Once more it was
a chance, do they, at the moment, with the team producing the goods. The starting line-up in the Premier League, so, and they do.
Ruter heavily involved, forcing another free kick. He is their Carabao Cup keeper and has impressed in this competition. Now strike.
Arsenal midfield. Kadioglu, as you said, look, he's looking up really, then should know where the goalkeeper is. You shouldn't really need
to get away from Diego Gomez. That's Dowman trying to dance his way through. Not quite. In the game, Dowman tries to get away from the keeper. He had one area ahead of him. Dowman's gone down.
As he comes inside here, look, there's the cover coming over, and that's a little.
Won it back. It breaks for Diego Gomez. Mosquera meets it. Baliba. Goes Dowman again. This time clear, haven't they, so far? Arsenal trying to change that here. It's Eza for Arsenal, and it's straight at the wall.
Let's see.
Ruter. Simas had continued his run. Ruter threaded it through the Brighton corner. Deeper in, swinging delivery. Trent covered really good ground. Does have options either side, and just as he was about to the byline, did beautifully, and then goes down. Arsenal starting with attacking intent. Massa's given straight to him, taking on Mosquera, who's able to recover the situation for Arsenal. Self in positions to profit now. Ruter taking over, and there is plenty. There is a Balaga, not overly extended this time. As Belieber goes down to separate them yet. Here is Kadioglu.
Sosa. And then
With plenty back. That's a lovely ball.
Slip back to Hughes, so that means he can spin away, and Saka can spin away. And there was the ball looking for Sarsgaard.
Drags it away, quick feet.
Collect it and assess his options here.
Tied it up by Gay and then Kamada.
Waneri has a go.
Chiesa.
Manchester United.
Now he can get one away.
And it goes towards. It takes Kadioglu out of it. Mikel Merino. Lovely here for Lewis Skelly. And in. Ethan Waneri. Arsenal have found a way. After that patient period of probing pressure, they come up with a quality in the build-up, and they come up with the game's opening goal just before the hour. Arsenal 1, Brighton 0. Ethan Waneri opens the scoring at the Emirates.
Bit of a run
with Eza. Deflected, loops up and almost.
The near post when he comes over here. I thought drag that one to the near post because it wasn't really much of a target to aim at by the two defenders closing him down there. So
week in the Champions League. As the corner is Kadioglu with the cross. Ruter had continued his run. It's still in there scrapping. Piper was calling for it. Gomez. Belieber. Flashed in. Then is the one who could capitalise here, cutting it back for a Yari. Hincapié with the block. Stays out there up top. The scorer trying to turn provider. He partially cleared that one. Handbook on the training ground as they all make their way to try and meet it. Rising the highest there was Merino. Looked like Simba. Look at the ground that he has covered. Slips it through towards Harry Mananous. Denied his moment, but Saka will score. And it might just settle it. A second for Arsenal. And the Premier League leaders well on course now for the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup.
Well, the runaway train continues. The momentum's continued. It was a bit shaky in that first half, but now they go 2 up and surely assured himself of getting into the quarter-finals of this competition. Great driving run from Timber. He was like the runaway train here. Look at the power of the run. And at the end of it, when you run like that, a lovely weighted pass. And obviously the keeper does very...
Here's the next one, as Minter gives chase here. Kepa came and made sure he...